And focus groups really do help us to know the deficiencies in our case. And the reason they help us do that is because as attorneys, we're blind to the deficiencies in our case. We're emotionally vested, we're immersed in the facts, and we're absolutely confident that we know the right way through the forest and the trees. And what the focus group does is help ground us in a little bit of reality. My motto when it comes to focus groups is do them early and do them often. And as of last week, I have 12 million reasons why I tell you to do that. I'm saying that not to break the rules and not to tell you about what I do, but to make a deliberate purpose, and here it is. We had a case that was relatively good on liability, but not great. And we took that case to a focus group, and we got slammed. At the end of the day, my clients swept into the hotel elevator, they punched the buttons, they left, they didn't even speak to me. Our verdict was that bad. And what we realized is that focus groups no more understand agency as a legal principle than a first-year law student understands the rule against perpetuities. They got so distracted about, well, what if the truck driver, this is an asphalt truck driver, what if he wants to stop at the 7-Eleven and have a Slurpee for lunch? You know, can the guy tell him not to do that? What if he wants to put a different kind of gas in his truck? Can the guy tell him not to do that? And that is where they went. And so we realized agency, the cause of action of agency, was an enormous problem in our case. We got rid of it, and we took the case back to a focus group. We didn't get beaten up as much as we had the first time around. The verdicts were a little bit closer to the middle. And what we understood then was that there was something in the story to apply to each side of the aisle, but it still wasn't good enough. What was holding them back then was how we got from the person who actually was the tortfeasor all the way up to the named defendant. So the person who was the actual tortfeasor was serving a jail term for manslaughter. The next person up, who was his boss, really didn't have a dime to his name. So he wouldn't have been a good source for damages, of course. The person who was next in the chain that had gotten the third fellow, he was in the same situation. And the people who actually put the whole process into movement, into motion, they were at the top of the list, and they were the deepest pocket. But we had to overcome the instinct of the focus group to say, you're just going after the deep pocket here, it's clear. And that's what we worked on in the second phase. How do we move from getting them all the way up to the chain to where the real defendant sat? By the time we did the third stage of focus groups, we knew that we had a pretty solid story going in. But it took that work through 3 stages of focus groups to be able to hone that case.